Welcome you all again. Today we have a discussion on another transformation tool which is called as jet transform. The target is here to understand how again a time domain sequence can be converted into the frequency domain sequence. But this time this transformation tool is applicable to the discrete time system. Discrete time system that can be defined as xn and yn. It means discrete time system is that system, discrete time signal are those signals which are defined at certain discrete interval of time rather than defined continuously. So for those specific kind of a tool is being created which is called as a jet transform. So that we have a today's target to understand. So suppose that we have any sequence Hn is a system, always just take care about Hn is the system response and Yn is the output. So if suppose we are looking to find out this Yn, the Z transform of this can be taken as Hz. So let's move further about the basic principle of this one. So by the simple definition, the jet transform of any sequence Hn can be determined with the help of this relationship. Here Hz, it means now the domain is represented into the terms of Z. Now this Hz can easily be determined with the help of summation, taking all the possible limits from minus infinity to plus infinity, Hn z raised to the power minus n. By substituting any Hn here, whatever the value is here, one can find out the value of this Hz. Similarly, if this Hn is the system response and Xn is to be determined, so this relationship is applicable for all kinds of a discrete signal. So we have an example, simple example to understand how the Z transform of a simple signal can be calculated. Just taking a very simple example from, again I'm just taking a reference from the shown series book and its solved example is taken care here. So again just taking the example number 4.1, in this example a sequence which is a discrete sequence is given as xn equals to a raised to the power n un. And during this particular, it is required to convert its frequency domain. So the conversion of frequency domain is possible through jet transform, and by the basic principle of this jet transform we know that xz equals to n minus infinity to plus infinity a n un z minus n. It means substituting this whole xn here, and we know that this un is a unit step function which is only defined from 0 to plus infinity. So this has value 1 for 0 to infinity, that's why, and beyond 0 from minus infinity 0 it is all 0. So this limit remains only as n equals to 0 to infinity. So substituting this un as 1, so now the final formula remains as a jet inverse and power n, and we know this is a summation. Once we expand this series, it will become 1 plus power 0 plus power 1 plus power 2. So this is basically a common ratio and it becomes an infinite GP, geometric progression. And this geometric progression can be summed up for infinite number of terms. So we know that for the infinite number of terms GP, we have a summing formula as 1 upon 1 minus r. So here by substituting this r is a z inverse, substituting this one can have 1 upon 1 minus a z inverse. Meanwhile at the very same time, whenever we are just making any transformation tool from time domain to frequency domain, it is important to understand in frequency domain where this particular output converges, and this convergence is called as a region of convergence. So at those points which is not being defined is called as are not region of convergence, except all this is the basically defined at every point. Let's see 1 upon 1 minus a z inverse. Under this situation, if we see this mod of z, maybe this z value may be find out at 1 upon a will only be 0. If suppose the z is being put as a, then a inverse becomes 0. This will make you infinite. So except only z equals to a, all minus a's and all possible a's, this will be defined. So the region of convergence for this sequence is z mod of z, it means plus minus greater than a but not equal to a. So z equals to a, it is not defined. So this is basically a region of convergence. This region of convergence, sometime you may also find out by making this in a correct form. It means changing it in the form of z upon z minus a. Here it is very simple. Don't put the value z equals to a. This is not only the defined point because it comes to infinity, and accept that it is defined. So once it is being asked to you to make you understand how it can be plotted. So region of convergence, z equals to a is a kind of a circle. It means under this circle only these at this boundary z equals to 8 is not defined, and over the boundaries it is defined. Here the examples of a has been taken for the different value. Suppose a lies between 0 to 1, a is greater than 1. Similarly, in another case, if a minus 1, a is there. It means ultimately z equals to a is a circle and taking care of all the values of possible values of a plus minus 1. So ultimately the part which is being shown over here is a region of convergence, except only the part which is not shown over here. So this is basically called a region of convergence that can easily be drawn. Taking another example in the same sequence. Here the things has been created for the purpose of taking the unit step function but a shifted, and as well as taking to the opposite side, it means the negative axis. In this category, if we see xn equals to a minus a raised to power n u minus n minus 1, and under this category if we find out this one, so how we can get this one? So using this u minus n minus 1, it will be defining from the area, it will be defining from minus infinity to 1, because un is defined from 0 to infinity, u minus n is defined for minus infinity to 0, and u minus n minus 1 is defined up to 1 value. So similar way you can find out the relationship and you can easily determine the value of your a. So this is basically a process to find out the z transform of any sequence. So well, a z transform of some common sequences are always required. Like you have a test signal standard, those standard test signal has also be determined always. It is always required. So under this situation, if you go for this, so you find out the first unit impulse sequence is there. So unit impulse is defined only at n equals to 0. Under this situation, you have to put this n equals to 1. This limit from minus infinity to plus infinity will become only having a single value of 1. Substituting this value, this becomes 1. This will be at n equals to 0, it is only defined. This also becomes 1. So ultimately the whole answer is only 1. So the z transform for impulse sequence is nothing but a value 1. Simply we have already tried for the unit step sequences. A unit step sequences, it has value 1 but it is defined from 0 to infinity. Solving this, it will give you a GP of infinite terms, and solving this GP of infinite term will give you a result of 1 upon 1 minus z inverse. Let's take more examples. So if you see here, almost all possible standard signals are taken up here. So delta n we have already considered as 1, we have solved it. Un has 1 upon 1 minus z inverse, changing it can be z upon z minus 1, and along with the side all the ROCs are defined, region of convergence are also defined. Sequentially you can easily find out minus u, these all can be found out with the help of same relationship. Here it has the very same value as we have for the un. If you solve it, you will get the same value. Similarly for delta, by shifted by m, a and un, these all sequences have some sort of results in terms of z transform. So you have a target to put all these value in the same relationship, summation minus n infinity to plus infinity xn, whatever your xn is there, z minus n. Put these values, make a series. Generally this series is a geometric progression for infinite or finite terms. You have to go for the solution of this one, you will get the results. These are extremely easy to solve. So let's have a discussion on the properties of Z transform. As we have already discussed the properties in Laplace transformation, the properties in the Fourier transformation, and similar type of properties we get in the Z transformation. Let's do an example we have a sequence xn and its Z transform is to be denoted as xz. It has a region of convergence R. x1n, x1z, x2n, x2z, region of convergence R1 and R2. So first take of all the linearity property. Linearity tells you if suppose you are taking a combined Z transform of a particular signal which are divided into 2 or 3 parts with multiple of some coefficients, like x1 is one sequence, x2 is one second sequence, a1 x1, a2 x2 multiplied with some coefficients. So taking the whole Z transform is the same as taking the individual Z transform and then multiply with them. This will tell you the region of convergence will be the subset of intersection of these two. Fine. So this is basically the R1 and R2 results come. Time shifting property. If suppose xn is a sequence, it is being shifted by minus n naught. So it will have same as xn as xz, but it is being multiplied with the coefficient by shifted z minus e naught. The same we did in the case of the Laplace transform. It was shifted by e raised to power minus at. It was shifted by, in case of suppose it was e minus at, is was 1 upon s minus a. Similarly, the same we did in the case of the Fourier transform. It means j omega comes. Multiplication by this, so this will give you, if it is being multiplied with z naught zn xn, then it will be divided by in the Fourier, in the Z transformation tool. So if it is being multiplied in the discrete domain by zn, it is being divided by z naught. If it is being multiplied by e raised to j omega, then it has a complete shift in this e minus j omega naught. Wherever you have a z, you just need to put this whole sequence instead of z once you have a multiplication of this one. Third, we have a time reversal property. This time reversal property will tell you if suppose you have a sequence for xn as xz and it becomes minus n. So no need to worry, just only change this from z to 1 upon z. And here in this case the region of convergence will be just reversed. Multiplication by n. If suppose you have n xn, this is a very important property. So when you have n xn, so in this case it will simply be multiplied with z dxz upon dz. If you have xz, just differentiate it and multiply it with minus z. And region of convergence remains same, it has no change. Accumulation property is here. If suppose xn is here and it is definitely defined through some sort of a summation point from minus infinity to plus infinity. So this will have a very same values, 1 upon 1 minus z inverse, and will have a xz. So this is the accumulation, and the most important, extremely important, for which particularly we go for the frequency domain analysis and definitely transformation tools, is the convolution. Convolution is a property if suppose it is being convolved in a time domain, it is multiplied in the frequency domain. So ultimately, let's have a discussion on these properties. Generally what happens under these categories, we have again the same question. The system is here. If practically we talk about why we are studying about all these, so we have basically a system. In this system may be in digital form, discrete time form maybe, or maybe a continuous. So before that we were talking about the continuous time system. We talked about basically the Laplace transformation as well as the Fourier transformation. But this time our system has become discrete. It means it is working on steps. It means this time bulb is not being on continuously. We are making button 1 on, then off, on and off. If each for every second we are making it on and off is what making it discrete output. So this system has become a discrete property. When that kind of a system is required to be studied, under this situation we need to have a transformation, Z transformation. And suppose this system has Hn as a discrete time response and Xn is an input, then Yn will be an output. So getting this Yn, we need to convolve this Xn and Hn. This Xn and Hn convolution becomes mathematically easy once we are studying it into the time to frequency domain. So that's why we are using this transformation tool. Ultimately, these properties are also very much important while you are simplifying the questions. So rather than solving a whole question with the help of these properties, one can easily, if it is x and xz is known, one can easily find a little shift and change in that with the help of all these properties. So this is basically a target to understand the properties. I hope so. The properties as well as how the jet transformation can be calculated, what are the standard jet transform, that all are clear to you. Reason of convergence is also very much important. Many in the questions it is being asked specifically in the competitive examinations. So see one example. If suppose you have an x and x jet, with the help of the property you can easily find out for the minus a minus n, q minus n minus n. You know that the shifting property can be utilized here, multiplication property can be utilized here, and the same question can be solved with the help of direct relationship. So the example 4.1 of the Shom series book can be taken into the consideration. This will make you understand the basic formula of this one. So we have just taken this x jet, substituting all these value minus infinity plus infinity, substituting xn over here, and as I told to you, because it is from minus n to minus 1, so minus n will tell you minus infinity to 0 and minus 1 will tell you up to minus 1. So this limit from minus infinity to infinity becomes minus infinity to minus 1 here. Done. Simplifying it again, it will become again a geometric progression, and under the geometric progression you can easily go for the simplification sum of infinite or finite series. So I hope so you might be ignited to solve more problems on the jet transform. Start by doing it. If you find difficulty, drop your message. I'll share the specific video on that particular topic. Take care.